Hi, so this is Dr. McGrory and welcome to my BUSN1360 class, Software Applications for Business. I want to talk to you about the process you're going to go through to register for MyITLab. When you log into PAWS, I'm going to have some detailed instructions for you, and I want to walk through those with you now because this is a new process that started 2022 spring. Now, this process is going to be the same regardless of the section, so I'm going to kind of blur out this section-specific information, but it will be on your handout that I'm going to include for you in PAWS. Again, don't forget, you cannot follow these steps until your term or semester begins. Okay, so if you're in a full semester class, it's the first day of the semester. If you're in, for example, a Flex 2 class, then this would you would not be able to do this until your Flex 2 term begins. So the first thing I want you to do is to open your browser, but I would like for you to consider using multiple browsers. By default, we often just use the, let's say, Microsoft Edge browser. You may use the Safari browser because it's just that's the one that came as default. But there are other browsers out there, and you will find that different browsers work differently. So the recommended browsers are Firefox and Chrome, but use a browser that works. For example, I will say that Microsoft Edge has gotten a lot better over time. But whatever browser you're in, if you encounter a problem, close that down, open a different browser. The second really important note, man, you are going to struggle with this all semester, is you have to enable pop-ups. If you are not familiar with how to enable pop-ups, it can vary a little bit depending on your browser. But in short, this is what happens. You click on something and you go, I know I've clicked on it. Why isn't anything happening? I'm clicking and nothing is happening. It's because that pop-up is blocked. So every time it opens, your computer stops it, right? You don't understand why nothing's happening. And along the top web address bar of your browser, if you look at the top of your browser, there will be a little red symbol. Depending on browser, it'll be either on the left or on the right. When you see that little red symbol, it's trying to tell you, I've just blocked that pop-up. Click on that symbol. It will then say, do you want to allow the pop-up? Tell it to always enable, and this is for the myitlab.com website, always enable, and then you'll be able to click and things will work. Sometimes it enables them for a day, a week, a month, so you might have to repeat that step more than once. Now, final important note. As we talk about some of these websites, it is very possible that you have used them before. You may have used the BryteWave RedShelf website from other classes. You may have used the MyITLab website if you have taken classes where they used MyMathLab, MyFinanceLab, or even MyITLab in a different course. If so, you're probably going to, get a message that maybe the password is not correct, or that you already have an account. The reason this happens is because the password in those systems, you're logging in with your name at southwest.tn.edu. But the password is from several semesters ago. So whenever you took, the class. So try an old password, and if that doesn't work, just know that you're going to have to use the forgotten password link, okay? I'm going to begin with kind of part one of the two-part instructions. This part one is the new piece of the instructions, and it's the way that you obtain the access code so that you can create your MyITLab username and password. Now, you only have to go through this once. It's a way to access your ebook, but truthfully, you're probably not going to continue to use this because you're going to find your ebook is in the MyITLab system. So we just need to go through this one time to get that access code. So spring 2022 semester is the very first time that the MyITLab access code is being distributed to students in this way. It's a new process. And while some classes rely on the RedShelf ebook, in our class, we're going to rely on MyITLab. It's going to be where your ebook is, and many, not all, of your required assignments, because you're going to use the PAWS website also. So the purpose of BryteWave RedShelf is to get the MyITLab access code. How do we begin? All right, you're going to have to check your Southwest email. And what you're checking for is a subject line that says BryteWave. The sender, maybe you can search by sender, is going to be BryteWave. Specifically, it's going to be do not reply at redshelf.com. So you need to locate that email. They do tend to send these out pretty early. So if you've been registered in the class for a while, it may have been sent to you even a couple weeks ago. All right. If you do not find that email, check your spam folder. It's very easy to forget to check that, so don't forget, check that as well. Now, in that email, you're going to get step-by-step instructions to register into the BryteWave RedShelf website. Basically, you're going to start at this website, brightwave.redshelf.com, and you're going to need to enter your Southwest email address. So username at southwest.tn, as in Tennessee, .edu. So we have two dots. Username, southwest.tn.edu. Okay? Now, when you're trying to log in, if you have never ever before used this BryteWave RedShelf website, then you're going to create an account. I suspect that some of you may have had to go to this website before. If you have forgotten your password, just click the Forgot Password link. Now, you do all of this to get to this RedShelf step number 3. When you are in RedShelf, you are going to see this publisher access code. That is the payment. Okay, that's a code you need because it pays for your access to the publisher's website, which is myitlab.com. All right, so you're going to see a box that's going to look a lot like this. This code, I'm sure, is just kind of a made-up code. All right, so you're going to go so this is not the real code, right? You've got to log in to the BryteWave RedShelf website, and you're going to click this button right here that says Copy Code to Clipboard. When you click that, it stores this really long code into the memory of your computer, just temporarily. You don't want to copy something else, you don't want to shut down or, for example, and say, okay, I'll do the rest of it tomorrow. You're going to click that button, copies it to the memory of your computer. Now we go on to where we're trying to go. It says throughout the semester, you'll use myitlab.com, and you're going to use the site a lot, and you're really going to love the rich tools. That's another video. So here's step 1. Open your browser. Remember, there are different browsers. Recommended is Firefox or Chrome. So go to myitlab.com. Type that into the address bar, myitlab.com. Okay, go to that website. Under register, you're going to select student. So you're going to see are you an instructor, are you a student, whatever. Click student, and then click OK, register now. Now, you're going to be prompted for 3 pieces of information. First, you're going to be asked for your email address. Go ahead and use your Southwest email address. In past semesters, that wasn't important. In this semester, it's going to be important. And for this account, when you are asked for your first name and last name, please make sure that the first name and last name that you use is exactly the same as it is in My Southwest. This will prevent your account from being deactivated. So I really need, for multiple reasons, I need your name, which could have changed, I realize that, but it needs to align with your Southwest name, okay? That may be an indicator to you that you need to get with the records office and update your name, with the college. But whatever name you have on file with Southwest, That's what name you need to use in MyITLab. Now, I am going to blur this so that this video is kind of generic to multiple sections, but in step 5, you will see that I have given you your course ID. This identifies your section. It puts you in the proper course. It's not the payment. So this is the course code or the course ID. Okay, so you're going to enter that in and you're going to click continue. On step 6, it says you purchased access. Don't forget that when you enrolled in the course. And this semester we have this new process. And remember that you copied that code to the computer's memory earlier. This is where you will paste that code. From that point on, you're done. And so you're going to click and go to your course. In step 8, it says on the My Courses page, select the course that you're in, and so that you can start to work. Now you only have to go through this registration process one time. After that, you'll simply be able to open your web browser to myitlab.com, and then you'll sign in and you'll have the course available. So let me just show you briefly. I can't show you all the steps, but I can perhaps make you feel more comfortable with this. You're going to follow the steps from your Southwest email, and they're going to have you go, it's going to have a link, and it's going to say redeem your RedShelf access code. That code is going to be in the email that you received, your Southwest email. So you're going to go through, log in, or create your account, right? You're going to follow that. But you're doing all that, don't forget, you're doing all that to get your course access code. You're going into RedSpace. Let me bring this back, RedSpace, RedShelf, so that you can go here and click copy code to clipboard. Once you've done that, I'm just going to open a new tab. That way I could leave that up. And I'm going to go to myitlab.com. Now I'm in the Chrome browser. Okay, so now that I'm on the MyITLab, and I put myitlab.com, and you see it, saved me from having to type all of this. And so now I'm going to click to register. I'm going to click the student button. After you go through the registration process, from that point on, all you'll have to do is click sign in. But this very first time, you're going to click student. Okay, see how it's asking for these 3 pieces of information? Your email address, and you know that that's going to be your Southwest email address. It's asking for your instructor's course ID, and that always begins with your instructor's last name. Okay, so that's how you'll know for sure that you're talking about the course ID. And then you're going to be asked for that access code, and that's the one that's sitting there in the memory of your computer. So you have those 3 pieces of information. You're going to click OK, register now. Okay, and see how it's trying to find? This is where you would enter that course ID. So this begins with my last name, your instructor's last name. You're going to put that in, and you're just going to keep following the on-screen processes to complete that registration. Okay? It's kind of a lot of steps, and I apologize for that, but I think, you're going to get through this, and, and now that you kind of see the big picture, I think that'll make it easier for you. Thanks, and we'll be talking to you soon.